With their high school years dominated by COVID, the class of 2022 has lots to say for themselves. For some, like Jennifer Tran, graduation is the next step to something new and exciting. As she puts it, she's super into education and district policy, interests that led her to leadership posts with activist groups. Her activism also led her to a seat on her local school board where she advocates for teachers and school safety. There will surely be more as she starts a new chapter in her life as a freshman at UC Berkeley.
I was just coming into second semester as a sophomore, and the COVID pandemic, it was really just this it's just another thing that's going on in 2020, 2019 in my sophomore year, mainly because in first semester my dad got cancer. I came out and then immediately after the COVID pandemic happened. We're really low income, and so my mom was working her nail technician job to pay off the medical bills, and so I was really left to take care of my younger brother and my grandma who has dementia. And at 15, all of that is a lot. The COVID pandemic, everything was crazy for people, right? But I think because everyone was so isolated, that made it a lot better for my family, because my mom was put on unemployment, and so she didn't have to work as hard. While we were worried about, of course, getting COVID and everything, we were able to, all stay in the house and have family dinners again and family breakfasts and lunches and everything. For a little bit, it was normalcy within the home if you just didn't look outside to see, the hospital charts going up and everything else going on. I'm gonna walk in light. Okay. I'm super into education and district policy, and so I was continually following the news on what was happening in my local city and what was happening on the school board of education. Going into junior year, of course, the pandemic was still going on, and by then I was able to kind of refocus and get used to this new online format. Because of everything going on in the summer, I was able to hop on a lot of activism trains, specifically education policy. I came across this application to join this organization called Generation Up, and I was like, this sounds cool, why not apply, right? Then they got back to me with an offer for a position called Director of Organizing, and eventually I got to the position where I'm now the Garden Grove Student Board member, and so I'm on my Board of Education. I've carried 3 bills in the California State Legislature. Pitching bills is a really interesting process, and I think that's the funnest part of it. Writing policies or proposals at 3 a.m. on Zoom with a couple of friends, and then being able to wake up the next morning and be we have a packed schedule of shopping bills to different offices and trying to get them to bring it to the senator or assembly member, and then maybe they'll like it too, and 3 of them did, so. My personal favorite is SB 1236, picked up by Senator Glazer. Right now, as I stated before, I'm a student board member, and SB 1236 allows for local LEAs to make their own decisions about what is best for their school board and what programs is best for their student board member, whether that is a full vote, the ability to go into closed session, partial voting, etc. That's the Garden Grove way. There's a lot that I want to change. California schools are so overwhelmed, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic. Teachers are leaving education and not really coming back. I know in my school district, I've really advocated and worked with our teachers union in order to be able to get them just better pay. I think especially with my generation, it's going to be a lot about demonstrating safety. Policies as to where students and teachers are able to feel secure so that they don't need to hide under a desk or learn how to duck and cover when they're 6 years old. Our children are the future, right? I think our children are the now. They can make so much change as they are as 17 and 16 and 14-year-olds. And it just takes one adult to be able to listen and be I'm gonna pick up what your proposal is.